Oh yeah, what's up everybody? Welcome back to another edition of DGT Live, coming at you from the central coast of California. I'm your host, Leo, along with
Rick
and
Francisco.
Today we're going to bring you a nice family-friendly show about gaming, movies, and pop culture. Specifically, the Oscars just happened right yesterday.
Hollywood's greatest night.
The Shape of Water took home the best picture of the night, but
Coco.
near and dear to our hearts, Coco took best animated picture and best original song, which brings it to a tie with one of my all-time favorites, Up, also from Pixar Animation Studios, which took home best animated picture and also took home best score. Well, not also.
Remember Me.
Took home best score. So, yeah.
What?
Jerks. So
now we're golden. We've always been golden. I don't know what you're talking about. Comment.
What? What are you talking about?
It's a comment.
Comment. Well, tell us the context.
It says now you guys are golden.
We are.
Who said?
Golden
Oh, one
boys.
of our viewers.
Yeah.
One of our millions
Millions.
of viewers.
Minions.
You mean billions?
Minions.
We're above millions. I didn't watch the Oscar, guys.
You
No, I
didn't?
did.
I hardly ever do.
This was actually
I
the
tend to watch
worst
them by
night
accident.
on as far as ratings that the Academy Awards has ever produced. The worst night
Well,
from forever.
the Oscars,
Ever and ever.
ever and ever. They take too long.
they're not that interesting.
And fun tidbit here: the first Academy Award ceremony took only 15 minutes, and now it takes like 5 hours.
When was the first one?
I don't know.
Like, are we talking about
1800s.
like 5 decades ago?
1800s.
1800s, before movies were even around.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
50
cool.
minutes.
I can totally
So
see that.
yeah, it's overrated. People don't care. I mean, bunch of celebrities just gathering to get an award.
I wonder how the celebrities feel like.
I have to do this.
Gotta get to this thing
go.
now.
Gotta go. No, I think it's important to them.
I think
because
it's
Well,
part of their
obviously, yeah,
job,
if-
to be
if-
honest with you.
If they actually win, obviously, it means something to their their track record. But I don't know, like,
what's the point?
yeah, I mean,
They don't get money. Do they get money?
no, but like I said, it's kind of like a.
Although
Well,
Jimmy Kimmel
like
was
a-
the host,
They
and
get-
speaking of the length of the Oscars, he said that whoever gave the least amount of speech time period will get a jet ski. And actually, somebody won a jet ski for a speech of like 10 minutes or something like that.
And that was the shortest.
That was the shortest.
No.
Oh, 30 seconds. Not 10
Okay.
minutes. Yeah, 30
I was gonna say,
seconds.
isn't
Yeah.
like.
Wow.
No, 10 minutes was the longest one.
Like, how much editing
Don't
happens?
don't they only give you like 3 minutes or something like that?
No, like they can talk as much as they can do what's it called?
They'll
in-
just
in
cut to a
Congress?
commercial break.
Filibuster. If
A
they wanted,
filibuster
yeah.
and just
Oh
talk
my
about
God.
whatever.
They could.
I don't think that's the case. but-
It's not ethical, but nobody has like a set time. Like you can only go this
Huh.
much.
I totally thought they start
Because
playing the music to.
No, yeah, well, 3 or 4 years ago, I remember watching it, and yeah, this dude was kept talking, and then they started the music.
Yeah.
But he keeps talking, dude. Like even with the microphone, he's like,
And then he's like pulled off the stage. Ah!
yeah. So
That's pretty
Yeah.
cool. That's
Oscars
funny.
done. I think that's done.
All right.
Plus streaming takes a lot of the care of, people will used to watch until like 11 or midnight at night. It's like, I'll just watch the next day.
Pre-recorded live.
Yeah.
Cool. So
Heavily
what's in our
edited.
playlist today, guys?
Oh,
Discovering
man.
Krypton, some Superman stuff.
See, Rick-
What's this?
Excuse me.
Bam.
Rick just found this out as we
I
were
just
finding
noticed.
content. And I actually known about this since last year, but I never mentioned it because it's not worth the time. But okay, it's a show. It's a series, TV series about Krypton. Not Superman, but about Krypton and where Superman comes from.
The
Kind
planet,
of like
the
Gotham.
planet itself.
Kind of like the show Gotham.
Uh-huh.
It's not really about Batman, but Commissioner
What
Gordon.
happens in Gotham?
Yeah,
Stays
this is-
in Gotham?
This is what happens in Krypton.
All right. Stays in Krypton
It's-
until it blows up.
Yeah.
So, I mean, the only reason why it caught my eye, well, you said this was since last year. I don't know how long this has been going on, but with all this stuff going on with the DC
universe,
side,
yeah.
where it's just crashing and you know, wrecking pretty hard.
But it's very, to me, very interesting that they actually use the logo from the movie.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like the actual, it has the same lines and everything. If Leo will go back and, you know, do his producing job.
The Superman emblem?
Yeah, the Superman emblem is the same emblem that, what's his name, Cavill uses in the Superman movie, Man of Steel.
There's actually different versions of it?
Dude, yeah.
I never
of
really
course.
paid attention to
Yeah.
it. I mean, other than like the graphic effects that they do to it, but
Yeah, because this one has the fat S.
Mhm.
You know, it's not really an S. It's a symbol.
it's a winding.
It means
I don't
hope.
know, whatever.
So, yeah.
Is that the Flash?
No, that's some other dude. But
Yeah.
point is, it looks like it's gonna suck.
Really?
It's gonna be on Sci-Fi.
It just
and
yeah, I saw that logo right now too. So it's not even like a. It's not even
like
on
ABC,
CW where all the
yeah,
where all the
exactly. Like
big
the
ones
rest
are
of
going.
the DC. Although with Supergirl actually started in CBS.
Oh,
And-
did it?
Yeah, and then later on, when CBS dropped it, they brought it over to the
They're like,
CW.
we'll take it.
And they did
Come here,
the
orphan.
crossover with the Flash. Basically, they don't happen in the same universe, though.
That's what I didn't like
Yeah.
about those series. That it's
Mhm.
cool that they put them together, like the Legends of Tomorrow. I thought
Yeah.
was really whack, but I like the fact that they're just all mixed in there.
Mhm.
But they're from like all universes.
Yeah,
And that's-
Krypton, or not Krypton. What's his name? I forgot his name. But basically, there's alternate universes, alternate Earths,
Mhm.
Earth 1, Earth 2, or 3. So Supergirl is from like an alternate Earth.
Yeah,
So she doesn't exist in the Flash universe.
yeah, which I thought was kind of dumb.
So
But whatever's. I mean, the Flash show is pretty good. I enjoy it. Supergirl was okay. Arrow, I told you guys, I just finished watching season 5.
I can't get into it anymore.
It was like a chore.
Yeah.
Like I had to finish it. Just like the completionist portion of me said, like I need to finish this. And when I did, I'm like, finally, like done.
I remember the one that I got into was when he's supposed to be the successor to Ra's al Ghul. That's the last one, the last season.
That's
I
like season
watched.
3 or
Yeah.
I think.
After that, I just
Season 5 was like it was tough to get through it. I don't know.
The Flash is the only one I watched technically, and I only watch Legends and Supergirl and Arrow when they have the crossovers, like in Infinity Crisis and all of those.
All right. Well,
Yeah. So what are we watching here, Leo?
You know, guys, one of the things that I actually enjoyed about the
Netflix.
Oscars, and it was a surprise, was this teaser trailer to House of Cards, the final season. And, of course, we see the new president here.
Hail to the Chief. Spoilers
Hail
if you
to the
haven't seen the
Chief.
series.
I have.
Yeah, seriously, it's like this opens up with like a huge spoiler, doesn't it?
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's one of the greatest series ever created. However, I think part of what made it so great was the main protagonist, which is no
Kevin
longer
Spacey.
the main protagonist.
Is this
Kevin
a
Spacey.
spoiler because of real life actions of what he did, or in the series were they leading up to this?
It's because
It was
of
leading up to
what
that.
it leads up to.
Okay.
And, well, as you see, she's head of the Oval Office there. She's
Mhm.
the president.
Mhm.
And that's a major spoiler because the whole series is them working up to that point. And if you've never seen the series,
Haven't.
now it's kind of like, oh, they end up being she ends up being the president.
The Titanic sunk.
So, exactly.
I have to say though that this show was made by Kevin Spacey. Like he was such a good actor. Like his character.
He made it what it is.
Oh man, yes, big time.
So what do you think about this? Now that we know he's no longer continuing.
Well, I mean, I'm pretty sure that we're gonna miss Kevin
The-
Spacey's character,
yeah.
but she's kind of like in the same vein. She's kind of like the same cut with the same scissors, as
Alright.
some people will say.
Mhm.
So
Well, she was Little Nicky's girlfriend, so
The
was she?
she's the actress. That
Oh snap! I knew she was.
she's also Jenny
Oh, that's
Jenny?
right.
Yeah.
Yeah, Tom Hanks is right.
from
Wait.
Forrest Gump.
No.
Yes.
Was it?
Dude.
Yes.
Jenny.
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 Yeah.
Look, see? Jenny.
Jenna.
I wish I was a bird. Fly far, far away from here. Remember
Why
that?
do you sound like South Park characters when
That's
you say that?
all I can do. I'm not an actor for a reason, folks. I'm just,
Yeah. So
I just make a living off of my good
I mean,
looks. That's
if
it.
you don't know what happened to Kevin Spacey and why he's not in the show anymore, there were some allegations of the hashtag #MeToo sense that we're not gonna get into it because we talked about it before. Point is that Netflix was gonna end the show just like that. Like they were not gonna resolve it because Kevin Spacey, as we just said, was the star. Like he was the show. Like Leo is more like our show here in DGT. So
if you want DGT to continue, make sure Leo's satisfied in
Yes.
every which way possible.
yes.
I am nothing without you guys or you guys.
He only says this in front of the camera. He's gonna hit us later on.
Oh,
I
I
told you.
I will crack that whip.
He's got it down there.
So, but yeah, it was very surprising that
Teaser.
Netflix actually went and announced that they were gonna keep on with the series without Kevin Spacey, and as we can see right here, looks like it's gonna happen. So I'm excited to see how it goes.
I'm excited
but
to not see it.
You
They're
will
gonna
see
end it. They're going to end it.
Yeah, last season.
Final season. So
Mhm.
I'm excited for it. I mean, disappointed it's not Kevin Spacey. Actually, not necessarily that it's not him, but not this character that
The character. Yeah.
we've been with for so long is not going to get to finish
They could
his
have
evil
fixed
master
it.
plan.
They could have fixed it in so many ways, as you know.
Yeah, like
having
he
a-
gets shot in the
Yeah,
face,
something.
facial reconstruction,
Yes.
boom, Edward James almost
Mhm.
I was gonna say he's now her. Oh, okay.
comes back. as-
No, like like a burn injury or something or other. That you'll
Two-Face.
find a look-alike that looks close to Kevin Spacey. Just like put some prosthetics and boom, nobody.
that guy
knows.
who's playing Harrison Ford in
heavy
that new
CG,
Solo
huh?
movie.
Him too, huh?
Because hey, you were a fan of Spartacus.
Yeah.
It's what happened to that actor.
know.
Exactly, and
It
that
all went
dude
downhill.
looked just like him though.
Lou
Oh,
Diamond.
really?
Yeah,
Phillips.
well,
No.
he had a
I
lot
mean, he
of-
had similar facial structures, but I mean, it took a part of the heart away from the show.
Rick
Yeah.
being deep, yo.
Spartacus
That
is,
show,
is
dude.
pretty intense and graphic, man.
He's
I mean,
very.
Speaking
it's
of
a-
graphic,
yeah, he doesn't want to talk about it.
animation.
So Wreck-It Ralph number dos.
I've been wanting this for so long,
It looks really good, guys.
but I don't know. I was telling Leo, like, how can they
how
beat?
can I reach this?
How
Jeez.
can they top? I will never be good, and that's not bad. How
Mm.
how can they beat that?
The internet, Rick? Look, Wi-Fi.
Pure memes. That's all that it is. I mean,
Rick, I think it was already topped actually.
was it?
Remember
Coco.
me.
Yeah.
I meant Wreck-It Ralph top. How can Wreck-It Ralph become? She turns into a demon. Whoa, that would have been an awesome twist. Uh-oh.
Spoiler
Uh-oh.
alert! At the end of Coco,
Pancho's
you-
going off.
you're-
Pancho's going off screen for a minute there.
he sings "Remember Me" to his grandma Coco, and and you just hear that sound coming out of her.
And it turns into like a horror flick from that point on. She's like the Grim Reaper or something. Dang, dude, that's pretty intense. Wreck-It Ralph 2. So
Yeah.
when this game when part one
Might as
came
well
out,
be a game.
when part one, I think I'm not a mobile version. I think they had. Anyways, when part one
Oh,
came
this is
out,
the funniest part right here.
when part sorry, when part one came out,
Bunny gets
the,
the pancakes.
the concept of all these arcade characters all mashed into one, like that blew my mind. Like that was awesome.
Mm.
I think the only other one that attempted or did a pretty good idea of that was the Adam Sandler movie. What was it?
Little Nicky.
Up
No. Dang, what was that
50
movie?
blind dates.
Mr. Deeds.
Where he fights Pac-Man.
Yes, man.
No. Well, Pixels.
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 All right, Pixels plural.
Oh.
So that one actually I enjoyed it too. But this one when it came out, like I just loved that idea of mashing all these animated characters together, and I thought they did it wonderfully.
Who Framed Roger
it was
Rabbit?
funny, even though they didn't
Then
go into
none.
a detail of who and who. And then at the end, that sacrifice,
Sacrifice.
not sacrifice. He didn't eat it. He sacrificed himself for the good of someone.
Spoiler.
Well, that wasn't even
Seriously,
just a
Rick,
glitch.
spoiler alert.
Yeah, like from like 8 years ago, 5 years ago.
8 years ago? That was like 3 years ago,
No,
dude.
no.
Yes, I still have the shirt with the brand new tag on it.
My 8-year-old was like 3-year-old, 5 years. See, I told you.
I don't know.
Yes.
That
So-
seems too
so
long
I
ago.
love-
It was
I
like
loved-
around 5 years.
I
ago.
love that movie.
I'm gonna look it up.
And then when this
I'm not
came out, or
satisfied
when
by
it was
your
announced,
answer.
I was like, oh, yeah, like I'm stoked about this movie. I like Wreck-It Ralph. What do you guys think?
I think Wreck-It Ralph is in my top 5
2015,
top
3
5
years ago,
animated
Rick.
films of all time.
3 years ago?
3 years ago, 2015. I told you, it's not that long ago.
No.
It can't be.
It's got to be more than 3 years.
Just the internet lie.
Yes.
Fact check me.
You talk. We'll check.
IMBD, 2015 pixels.
Pixel. I'm talking about Wreck-It
IMDb,
Ralph.
there's your first problem. I'm gonna check Wikipedia.
We're talking about Wreck-It Ralph, not Pixels.
You're talking about pixels.
We're talking about Wreck-It Ralph.
No, Wreck-It Ralph is old.
That's why. That's like 5 years old. That's what we're talking about.
Shut up, Rick.
Pancho,
Don't try to
keep
correct
up with the
yourself.
conversation.
Don't try to correct yourself.
2012.
Cough F. Cough F.
Remember
20
me.
Isn't it like 2013?
2012.
2012? Oh, yeah, Christmas,
So
Thanksgiving area.
6,
Yeah.
6 years ago.
Alright.
Spoiler alert.
Close to 6
For
years
those
ago.
of you who haven't
Yeah.
seen.
Told you. See?
No, but I thought you were talking about pixels. That's why. So I
no,
agree to disagree.
Pixels was more recent.
Yeah,
But
that's what I was talking about.
so you were saying top what? What were you saying? Top?
Top number
My
one.
personal top 5 movies of all.
Not a Furious 5.
Animated films.
Not a
of all
Furious
time.
5.
Furious 5, not affiliated.
Not a But can't wait. I can't wait. I'm stoked about it. What else we got?
Furious
Whoa.
5! All right.
Wait, Fear.
Yeah, fear. Where are we, guys?
Where are we going?
Where we go?
No, not that one. Not that one. No. Apparently, we
We're
lost
burning.
our
We're
camera
burning.
feed for that one. We just switch back.
We're
No,
burning.
no.
Oh!
No,
whoa.
that's the wrong one. That's the wrong one.
What is happening?
That's way the wrong one.
There we are.
No, we're not.
There we are.
You're breaking the magic. You just broke our magic.
You broke the illusion,
Fine.
Leo.
No Furious 5.
Oh.
We can do it in spirit of Furious 5.
In the spirit of Furious 5.
Yeah, we can fake burn instead of real burn.
It's not the
You're
same. It's
teasing
not the same.
My brother over here, you're teasing him, bro.
Let's see. Hey, what's your brother saying? What's your brother?
He is so excited about Furious 5.
Furious 5 is back, baby. He's saying, no, it's not back, baby. Because these guys won't let the dream live and simmer.
Hey, don't look at me. That's Rick.
No, that wasn't me at all. Leo, with his little, what do you call it, hooks, throwing these things out of nowhere. Furious 5 doesn't exist no more. You told us that.
We're doing Furious 5!
Yeah.
Okay, pretend the music's still going, the flames are still going up. All right. And Leo's Furious 5, top 5 animated films of all time.
Coco wins.
In my
Right.
opinion.
Oh,
My opinion. Number 5, Wreck-It Ralph.
Yay!
Yeah, I love that movie.
Yeah.
Great film. Has video games in it.
Yeah. It has
Awesome.
Qbert in it. How many
Yeah.
of you even know
And
Qbert?
Pac-Man.
And
And
Zangief.
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 Jail.
Zangief, bad guy.
Sparrow eggs.
I think that film is magical for many reasons.
Mystical,
But the number one reason I think is the heart that he displays at the end of that film with that magical quote. I think it's one of the greatest film quotes of all time.
Do or do not. There is no try.
Yeah.
And,
yeah, that one too.
And it's based off of video games.
Yeah.
My personal favorite hobby.
Yeah.
So,
Pastime.
yeah. Number 5.
Yeah.
Number 4.
4. We need like animated
Yeah,
effects
do
and
like
stuff.
a number 4 coming here all the way to the screen.
Finding Nemo. Finding Nemo, close to my heart. I know it's not one of the best films. I know there's better films,
Didn't even
but
win
this
Best
is
Picture.
Leo's Furious 5.
Leo's, not
Leo's.
Pancho's.
This is Leo's Furious 5.
I'll give it to you.
Um,
I'll give it to you.
That year, man, I was going through so much personal and emotional turmoil.
His girlfriend left him.
Finding Leo.
No, actually, that hadn't happened yet. Or it had happened, but I was over it. And it was... Anyway, it's complicated. Anyway, it's not about that. That year, I found out that
You were gonna be a father.
the person... no.
That's
the
why his
person,
girlfriend left him.
No.
The
I'm
year
kidding.
the year I saw Finding Nemo. Now take this into account. I
Taking
didn't
it
see
back.
Finding
Oh, never
Nemo
mind.
until it came out on DVD that year.
Oh, okay.
I didn't see it in the
I
movie
actually saw that
theaters,
in the movie theater.
which
Escape.
I regret not going to
In
see
Chicago,
it because
actually,
it
of
was
all
so
places.
great. But the main reason it was so important to me is because that same, like, I don't know if it was span of like 2 weeks before that or a couple weeks before that.
The tooth fairy came home.
I received the news, the confession that the father that had raised me wasn't actually my biological father.
What?
He was an adoptive father.
And-
yes,
and-
plot
and you
twist.
didn't tell us this.
And,
Why?
And I was.
Are you serious?
And I was
Legit.
Dude.
And I
Wait. No. Stop the show. When did this happen?
Oh man, it's gonna get deep. Leo's Furious 5. After a long time, it's gonna get deep because I thought I had told you.
No, he did. I'm just kidding.
I'm like, oh snap, dude.
For a second
I'm
there, I
like,
was like,
dang.
I just found out I'm the best friend here. 'Cause
I'm just kidding. All right.
No,
Yeah, we know.
yeah, man. I had just found out that my father, who had raised me my whole life, wasn't my biological father, and he was more of like an adoptive father. But my parents had never told me that. And
Novela stuff right here.
yeah,
in Spanish.
yeah.
Christ in
That
Spanish.
meme.
Leo, the Netflix series coming soon.
Finding it.
No, so I saw the film, and that day actually, or you know, the film's about a fish,
Father, son.
a father who's looking for his son, a son who's looking for his father, and then they kind of
In the deep blue sea.
and they sort of go through this self-discovery journey along the way, where they have a lot of fears and they lose a lot of their fears, in order to be able to find each other.
Overcoming the impossible.
Overcoming the impossible. And it just touched me
The
so much.
Majestic. I have to remember that, guys.
It touched me so much that it now take this into account. When I found out the news that my father wasn't my biological father, I didn't talk to him for a long time about it. I would just say like hi and bye when I would see him, but never
Run
actually
away.
sat down to have the conversation with him to let him know that I knew and that
I know.
everything was fine or whatever.
Liar.
And so one day I called him over, and for whatever reason, whatever purpose, my mother was out of town, so she wasn't in the house at all. And my dad's like, yeah, I'll go to, I'll come over right now, and I'll watch, I got, because I invited him over to watch a movie. He gets there, I put on Finding Nemo. At that point, my dad could have just said, I'm not watching this kid's movie, I'm gonna get out. No, he knew there was something up, and he stayed there. We sat through the whole movie. I didn't say a word. I was just like so nervous, and finally came to the point where he went ahead and I went ahead and I stopped the movie, and I told him like, Dad, I know the truth. I know this happened. I know it's, I know
I feel like
we don't share the blood, but you're still my father regardless of whatever happens,
someone's
and
cheating.
you're gonna be my father for life. And
I feel like we need to have another overlay, like the
precious
Leo's
moments.
Yeah, like we gotta have like a whimsical kind of a soft background. Got like a nice little.
Well, that little
Ease
baby's kind of doing the
music.
job.
the fairy fountain from Ocarina of Time.
There you go.
Anyways, so
Good job, man. Good job. Good
so
opening.
yeah, I mean that's why that movie is so important to me.
All
And
right.
it hit my heart so
Yeah,
deeply.
cool.
All right.
And then
I like it, but don't have a connection to it. Couldn't
Yeah,
care
that
less
was-
for it.
I'm
I like
like-
the second one.
plus,
better.
in addition to that, it's
was
a great
funnier.
movie. It's still a great movie. But then what was that, number 4?
4.
number 4.
Now number 3. This is number 3 and number 2 are kind of up in the air, so I'm just gonna give them to you right away. And then okay, number 3, I would say is Coco. Number 2 is Up. Now, I consider them like equals right now because I'm flying high off of the Coco train. That sounded terrible.
Coco
didn't it?
Train.
No, but I think the way I feel about movies is, do they withstand the test of time?
Mm-hmm.
And that's, to me, a big factor as to whether they're a great film or not a great film.
Mm-hmm.
If I go back and see it 2, 3, 5, 10 years from now, is it still going to be a great film? I see Up, and it's still a great film. So it's
His
ranked
opinion.
number 2.
Leo's
Coco,
Furious 5.
Coco, I think, is right there, but it's just it's equal with Up in my opinion. However, just because Coco's so fresh and I'm riding high off of the emotion of it still being a new thing, I have to like let it kind of simmer down in the number 3 spot and wait for the test of time.
So
see what
Up
time tells
sits
us.
at 2.
Up sits
at the
at
moment.
2 at the moment. Coco at number
Alright.
3.
All right.
You know
But-
which is my number 2 now that I think about it? And I never really told this to a lot of people. A lot of people when I tell
What's
them
your
this,
number 2? I want to know.
Episode 1.
Meet the Robinsons.
I don't think I've ever seen
That's
that
a
one.
good one.
It's the ending that makes the whole movie. It's kind of
Yeah.
like, wow.
I've never
brings
seen it.
Yeah.
Well, then we won't talk about
We
it
won't,
because
yeah.
it's a really, really good ending.
It is Leo's Furious 5, not Pancho. So
Hey, I
Yeah.
just had to chime in
so
because
it's just a mouth.
he's Coco at number 2, number 3.
Yeah.
I don't know.
And I
how
don't
can you
think-
have not seen Coco yet?
I'm curious to see what his number 1 is.
And number 1, I did say Aladdin at number 4, right?
no,
No.
you said a Little Nemo.
Yeah.
Finding Nemo. Little Nemo. Finding Nemo.
I don't think you had a number 5.
Yeah, that was Wreck-It Ralph.
Oh, that's right. So,
Ooh.
Wreck-It Ralph.
Ooh, I'm
Nemo.
sorry, Wreck-It Ralph. Number 6.
Oh, he
I
got
messed
bumped.
up.
He got
I messed
bumped.
up. Yeah.
Wreck-It Ralph doesn't
Ah,
even
the
make
camera
the
got turned off.
list.
The camera got turned off.
Ah,
Francisco's on it. Leo's Furious 5 is suffering some technical difficulties.
okay, we can-
Francisco is on it right now like a good little boy.
So,
Anyways,
number
so-
1.
So I'm sorry. I'm going to have to reshuffle this.
Oh,
Number 6, Wreck-It Ralph.
uh huh. I'm
Number,
gonna wreck it.
Number 5, Finding Nemo. Number 4, Aladdin.
We need
I
some- we
love
need some
Aladdin.
visuals
Aladdin
here.
is one of the greatest films ever.
The whale talk.
Number 3, Coco. Number 2,
Breaking the illusion. Breaking the illusion.
Stand
Ah,
by.
ah. Stand by.
Okay, right there. Furious 5 music back on. Back on.
While we just burn in the background.
So what was I saying? Yes, number 2 is number 4 is Aladdin.
Uh huh.
Number 3 is Coco.
Uh huh.
Number 2 is Up.
Banana.
One of the greatest films of all time. So many reasons why
I
that's such a great
I
film.
dig that film, but it's just the whole balloon aspect of it is a little too far fetched.
Fantastic.
But it's all right.
It's too fantastical. I get it.
It's too fantastic to withstand.
But
Number 1.
okay, we good. We good. Oh, there's your
We are
beautiful
good.
face. There's
All
my
right.
beautiful face, and there's Francisco's beautiful face.
Leo's Furious 6 just for today.
Just for today, yes. It's an honorable mention.
Honorable mention.
I never mentioned yes.
And number
Ralph didn't
1,
even make it.
and I don't think there's even an argument, and I don't think it's even close.
Mm.
The Lion King.
Ah, Sikaknia, my buddy. Agrabah.
My buddy in Agrabah.
Yep. I agree.
Yeah, man.
I agree.
And that's another father-son.
Not
Type of
by
movie.
choice, but I definitely saw that movie like at least twice a day for I want to say like half a year straight
That was the
with,
Disney Renaissance.
with all the kids
I
in the
saw
family that just popped it
I
in.
saw that movie
VHS, mind you.
VHS.
3 times in the movie theater. The first time I went to go see it, I went with my dad only. It was just me and my dad. When Mufasa died, spoiler alert, when Mufasa died, I look over at my dad because I want to cry.
Mufasa
kinda
died
like-
and he becomes Darth Vader.
Eating popcorn like
Jumping on the
nothing.
popcorn.
You see that,
he
son?
could care less
You see
about the
that?
film, and I want to cry, and I want to look at him and hoping he's like
He's
emotional
gonna
too.
hug you and-
Leo
And
turns
he's like-
around.
he could care less. He's like,
Leo-
ah, this popcorn's good.
Leo turns around, looks at his dad.
Oh,
Papa.
I have to say, dude, like with that Coco moment, if you haven't seen Coco, you have to do yourself a favor and watch it. Because that ending, dude, I couldn't fight back the tears, man.
Oh, man.
You know, it's like one of those
Um,
things where it's just like, no, I have to be strong. Nobody can see me. But it's so freaking hard, dude.
Well, I look at my dad. I want to cry, and he's just like chomping on his popcorn. I'm just kind of like, I'm not gonna cry.
I'll
All
admit,
teary-eyed.
for Coco, the ending,
Yeah.
I didn't cry, but it did get
It
the.
gets to you,
it,
you know?
It gets the.
The
all right.
knot in your throat, you know?
You know what?
Alright.
You know what? I did not have that same effect. Maybe there's something wrong
Because
with
you're
me.
heartless, yeah.
when I was watching it, in
You're
the
like,
movie
nah,
theater,
Up is better.
I was like, hey, it's a touching movie. That's great. They pulled it off.
Your
Congratulations,
children is all
Pixar.
dying and crying
Yeah,
over here.
I look over to my right, look over to my left. Everybody's in tears. Everybody,
dude.
everybody is in tears.
Man.
And I'm just kind of like, it's cool, you know, him and the grandma, you know.
Leo's
great.
doing his
It's
dad.
an emotional
from
moment, but I don't
Leo's
feel
doing the
emotional.
dad moment from Lion King.
Yeah. now you know about what your dad did that.
It's
Now
the
you
circle
know.
of life.
It's a circle of life.
No, so that's what happened. But guess what? Something else happened. Last week, the Blu-ray came out. I was watching the Blu-ray, and I was like, hey, I want to have that authentic salsa feeling about it. And so I watched it in Spanish with the Spanish language track.
Yeah.
And
Oh,
yes, it's like
it's so
way
good.
more immersive.
If
way
you speak
more
Spanish, watch
yes,
it in
it's
Spanish.
like the voice acting in
Mhm.
Spanish has so much
Yep.
emotion and so
Oh, yeah.
much flavor to it. And when that scene came up at the end,
Oh yeah.
my wife's in tears again. I'm watching it on the couch. in
Now
the
I
living
can
room.
actually cry in my
And
home.
my wife's in tears. My kids are in tears. And I'm like,
He was like,
like trying to fight it. Yep.
why?
I'm not gonna let my
why am I-
mascara run.
Why are my eyes sweating? You know, like,
Yeah, sweating with
I
respect.
mean, I still didn't cry, but still, it's like it's one of those things that I hardly get emotional with films like that.
You get like a pillow.
Trying to fight it.
So that's what happened, man.
man.
It's a great film. It's never happened to me before where on the initial run through I have no emotion towards it, and then later on in my second or third viewing,
Oh,
it's very
every
emotional.
time.
Yeah.
I think I've seen that movie like 6 times now. Every time, dude. It's
I think
not
I've only
it's
seen it
not
twice.
as hard as the first time, but it still definitely gets to me.
I've only seen it twice, but the second time I actually saw it all the way through. The first time I think I went like halfway, and then I stopped watching it. So
Yeah, watch it, guys. If you haven't seen it, best movie. I'm telling
watch
you.
it, watch it.
And
So,
that was Leo
Furious 5.
So two
What?
comments. AJ was saying those were the wrong lyrics, which I think it was the Lion King thing you were singing.
Nah, it's
And
just like
I'm pretty sure
We had it. It was subtitled. It was subtitled. And apparently he speaks Japanese. Dude, you got to give him some lessons, man.
Chip on and Marla Phillips.
pretty much.
Lieutenant Phillips had to throw him
I'm
in
the
there.
captain now.
Look at me.
So speaking of Disney classics,
Oh man, I don't know about this. I have to be honest. I will tell you about the original one. The original Mary Poppins. This is
Mary Poppins. We're
Yeah,
talking about
Poppins
Mary
Returns. The original Mary Poppins. I
Oh.
enjoy it.
Not Yandu?
It's good. You know, it has its charm.
Supercalifragilisticexpialidocious.
my
But it's not my
guest.
movie.
That's the only thing I
Be
remember
my
about
guest.
But now this
This
seems kind of like
Never mind.
a bad thing to do. I don't know. Like you're remaking a classic.
it. So is it a remake or is it like a
No,
continuation?
it's a sequel supposedly.
Okay.
But remember that? Did you guys ever see
They're giving it the
Oz,
Jumanji
the Great and
tribute.
Powerful?
No.
Oz, yes.
Oh, you
I
saw
did.
it, Leo. It's good, but it's not the Wizard of Oz. You know,
Right,
it's like you could
right.
tell. You can never
Is that the James
tie
Franco
the
one?
gap. Yeah.
Yes.
The
Never saw
gap
it.
is way too long to be able to like, bring him together for a sequel with modern technology, modern effects, modern film. It just doesn't work. And you could argue that the same thing didn't happen with Star Wars, but if you remember, Lucas actually remastered all the Star Wars movies before he brought in the prequels. And when you watch them on Blu-ray now, they keep up because they
Keanu.
look brand new. But when you see the old Mary Poppins and this Mary Poppins, it just, I don't know.
Mary
Seems weird to
Poppins.
me. I don't know.
We've already had a sequel to Mary Poppins. It's called
Guardians of the Galaxy 2.
no. It's that movie about that witch that comes and sets those bad kids straight.
La
a
Llorona?
British witch.
La Llorona?
What's that?
You know which one I'm talking about?
No,
No?
not really.
Nanny McPhee, bro.
Oh, yeah. I've never
I
seen
don't
it.
think I've seen it.
I've seen the trailers.
I love
but-
that movie. That movie's great.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know.
Just
I think
kidding
it's,
though. Nanny McPhee wasn't the direct sequel to this.
I think it's gonna be. I mean,
The neighborhood looks the same.
I won't say too much about it because honestly, I never really enjoyed the first one.
Yeah, like I said, it's just like
It was
meh,
an older, before our time kind of thing. But I
just
think
like Star Wars.
it was a lot to do with the actors that actually came out. Because what was his name?
Julie
Dick Van
Andrews.
Dyke was
Dick,
in
Dick
it.
Van Dyke, and
Julie Andrews.
they, I think, made what Mary Poppins
Yeah.
is.
Mm-hmm.
And without them in it, it's kind of one of those things, like, it's hard to continue that
That's
glory
exactly-
that they hit.
That's exactly what I wanted to say. Yes.
To me, Mary Poppins is actually happened many years later. Where my respect for that film came was many years later with this what's it called, the Tom Hanks film.
Oh, yeah. Mr.
Hanks.
Banks. Meeting Mr.
Saving-
Banks.
Saving
Saving
Mr.
Mr. Banks. That's right.
Saving Private
That's
Ryan.
where my respect for Mary Poppins came,
Yeah.
because I never realized that Mary Poppins
The
was
author
based
lady.
on a book whose characters were based on, there were metaphors for this girl's
Father.
or this writer's childhood.
Mm-hmm.
The father, yes. And so it kind of actually made me feel like Mary Poppins was a disservice to what she was really doing, which was pouring her heart out.
Yeah, and
And-
Disney just took advantage of her.
Yeah, they kind of did, you
Yeah.
know? I mean, they did a good job as far as it being a children's film goes, but it was so much more than a children's film.
She didn't want it to be a musical. And
Right.
that was the biggest thing. And Disney pushed for that musical number to become what it is. And you can argue that
Especially,
it is
I
a good
think it was-
movie, a good film, but
And really bad taste, that musical number where they're like,
Spoonful of sugar.
Yeah.
Mary Poppins, drink your coffee with your drinky drink.
drink.
They get all
You know?
Yeah.
Yeah, because her father was an alcoholic.
Yeah. Drink.
that reminds me of a
I'm
joke.
just kidding. I just made those lyrics up.
That reminds me of a joke.
Reminds me of the guy.
What's the most crunk place to go to the bathroom?
Where?
The Little John.
Yeah.
Speaking of the most crunk places.
I don't know where I heard that, but that was awesome. Not my joke.
Not this commercial. We're gonna
Oh yeah.
we're gonna delete
How that hurt.
this commercial from our memory.
Memory. Didn't happen.
It
yeah.
never happened.
Oh, yeah.
You guys remember that Cheerios commercial?
No.
Boom!
What?
Filmax
Commercial.
presenta
Oh, man. I don't know about this, you guys.
Javier Bardem, Colombia,
Bardem.
1981. The
I mean-
greatest
So-
year in the history of mankind, because I was born in it.
Loving Pablo.
So we've seen Narcos,
Mhm.
right? There's been a whole bunch of documentaries.
About Pablo Escobar.
There's been like 3 other series about Pablo Escobar and other narcos.
He went from selling cocaine to selling scripts to Hollywood.
Basically, I mean, it looks nice.
yeah.
I mean,
A-list actors.
what's her name?
Yeah, he's a great actor.
Penelope-
Penelope
One of my
Cruz.
Which
favorite
actually they're
actors.
married in real life. By
They
the way.
are?
Yeah.
Really?
Oh my
Woman.
goodness,
Yeah.
I didn't realize that. Didn't know it.
DGT should become a musical.
I think
I don't think we could pull off a musical. At least
I could.
We'd have like heavy dubs on our voices.
So yeah,
Nice.
loving
my
Pablo.
guest.
Jack Sparrow.
Leo did make a comment about this that it seems like it's Narcos turned into 90-minute movie.
Yeah, just clips from the Narco series, edited in such a way so that it's a love story.
And
As
then
you
they
can
just
clearly
put-
see through
They
this
just put these 2
trailer.
actors over the other Escobar and the other.
Yeah.
There you go.
Nice.
There you
Nice,
go, young
nice.
lad.
I mean,
So-
it looks interesting, but I think it's kind of one of those.
They're writing
Themes
off of
that
it. Yeah,
It's
the-
been done
the
and done
success.
over again, and it's not that it's boring, but it's kind of getting played out already.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
do something else.
Yes.
Speaking of played out,
Narcos isn't even doing this
put
anymore.
this again in our queue?
We can
How
never.
many times are
War.
We can
Talk
never.
about
Infinity War.
Look,
Infinity War, bro.
this is hot news.
We're gonna put a limit to how many
happening.
of these we can.
No,
This-
bro, we're either pure Marvel and pure DC, left
So
and right.
I don't know if you guys remember, for the past Marvel movies, every single Marvel movie always gets released overseas before it gets released here in the US. Always, for some reason, because the argument is that
That
supposedly
used to happen with Van Damme movies.
supposedly Disney
And Steven Seagal
doesn't
Used to.
want
Hard
all
to
these
Kill.
countries, especially Latin American countries, to pirate the movie, because they say that if it's in theaters earlier, they get to see it, because everyone's like, oh, we get to see it early, and so that makes them want to go to the theater instead of buying like a bootleg Blu-ray for like $3. So now Disney just surprised us with the announcement that we are gonna get Avengers Infinity War at the same time everywhere in the world.
Worldwide.
April 27, that's the new date, and earlier than our May 5th, May 6th, when was it?
May 8th?
something like that. But we're getting
Early
it
May.
like 2 weeks earlier now.
Nice.
1 week. So
So that's what we're looking at, like 3 months away.
yeah, dude, it's already here. It's
No,
already
2 months
happening.
away.
And spoilers.
1 month. No.
Let me tell you, I was reading some articles leading up to our show tonight, and supposedly there's a toy of Captain America, and the toy has a description in the back saying that there's possibly a Secret Avengers storyline happening between Civil War and Infinity War. So, Captain America, Falcon, and the Black Widow had been teaming up by doing secret missions, taking down terrorist organizations without anybody else knowing. So, Secret Avengers.
So we might get a movie of that.
Maybe. Because that's what the toy suggests. Another spoiler, if you don't want to hear this, cover your ears. The Hulkbuster. So the Hulkbuster is going to make another appearance.
All right.
And the Hulk is actually going
Wearing
to
the Hulkbuster.
Yes.
Ah!
But not because the Hulk was going to wear
Buster,
it,
Buster.
but because
Hulkception.
Bruce Banner has been trying to suppress the Hulk.
Uh-huh.
So Tony gave him the Hulkbuster so that in case the Hulk comes out, it contains them.
So Banner's basically in the Hulkbuster and like a last ditch to
Keep
seal
him in. Yes.
the Hulk.
But in the toy, the picture, you see the Hulk busting out of the Hulkbuster.
Nice.
So
That's gonna be like
pretty
a massive
interesting stuff.
Hulkbuster.
yeah,
Buster.
so I'm excited, dudes.
I am.
I've been waiting for this moment since before Marvel even existed.
I'm thrilled.
yeah.
Can't wait.
President Donald Trump is thrilled.
Oh man.
I think he's the opposite of thrilled.
What is the opposite of thrilled?
Unthrilled.
Okay. Well, he's in-
Dethrilled.
He's scheduled later on this week, I believe,
Yeah.
to meet with members of the
March 8th, I think.
video game community
Mhm.
to talk about
Gun violence.
gun violence in video games
Mhm.
and how that affects people.
I
and
can't believe.
and people are already saying that when they go speak to him, they're gonna bring nothing but the cold hard facts. Scientific studies have revealed, over many studies have revealed already, that there's no correlation between video games
And violence.
and violence.
Yes, like it's the 21st century and we're still talking about this. I mean,
Well, you know,
I mean, not that long ago, we're talking about it. It wasn't it recently updated to that? What do they call it? The ESRB rating, where it's been more kind of fine tuned into what category it falls
They're
in
gonna
for
have
everybody,
more-
for
more
mature, or
ratings,
for blah
yes.
blah blah. So I mean, I think that did the trick. I think that's it. That's perfect. Either this is intended for kids or adults,
or not. Yeah.
That's basically
No
it.
happy middle.
Yeah.
So, but kids still get their hands on those games. Let's be honest.
And not only that, more ESRB news is that they're going to finally add a little sticker or a little label on the video games talking about online transactions, microtransactions. So people beware when you buy a video game. If you see that little sticker on it or that little label,
Means you're gonna pay
um,
more.
It means the
Essentially,
game has an
I mean-
opportunity
To
for
charge
you
you
to
more.
spend more money for certain content.
I think though,
But a lot of people are complaining about it because it's very general. Because the one main thing that most people are complaining about are the microtransactions, the pay-to-win strategies that companies
Are
like
marketed
EA
to
have
kids.
used.
Yeah.
And so it's kind of like not fair to a lot of the younger kids that don't have the patience to earn certain accolades or points or whatever it may be, in-game currency. They just want to go ahead and get whatever the thing is that they're looking for.
But that's
And-
nothing new, though. I mean, look at all these tablet games, all these apps that are already been out there for how long. I'm glad I don't have a credit card linked to any of my accounts because my kids get the tablet and I see like a new game
Well,
at least
That
every other day.
The main argument in the gaming community is not so much that there's an opportunity to download things for like DLC, because a lot of DLC is well worth it and it's adding more game to your game. And some of it is more like gambling, where you get loot boxes. The loot boxes is what people are really up at arms about. And that's the loot boxes in many cases are very, very similar to what you see like at a Las Vegas casino.
Yep, it's a gamble.
So it is a gamble, and this jumbles up the good parts of DLC up together with the bad parts, which is the loot boxes, and that's what a lot of people are upset about. They think that there should be a specific label for the gambling, the games that have those gambling aspects, as opposed to the games that just simply offer you more, like typical DLC that people would fairly pay more for.
See,
as
but
opposed to the
that kind
loot
of
boxes
falls
that you don't know what you're gonna get.
that kind of falls in line with the rating, though. If you're gonna buy a kids game, then a kid can go buy a kids game. But if a kid wants to buy an adult game, they're not gonna sell it to them, or they shouldn't, because that's what the rating is. These microtransactions should fall in line with that as
And
well.
they should have a rating.
Where the store says, you're a minor.
You
Right.
can't buy this.
Right.
You
game.
can't buy
I
this
mean,
because
it has
there's
microtransactions.
gambling.
No, I agree with you 100%. But unfortunately, what's going to happen is that every single game is going to have this blanket label on it, from kids games all the way to adult games.
What games?
Because
so
every
digital now.
Candy
because
Crush.
every single game that we see out there right now has some form of DLC available to download, whether it be even a theme for your console's backdrop. You can go to the store and buy.
And if you don't
backdrop
buy it, you
based off
can't
of
finish the
Lego
game. You have to
Ever.
buy it.
whatever.
Ever.
Yeah, so that would automatically make it, give it that label,
Blah,
because
blah,
there's
blah.
the opportunity
Blah, blah.
for you to go to, the Disney store to download an avatar,
Yep.
or to the Lego store to download an avatar based on whatever video game it is that you're playing. So
All these microtransactions.
yeah, man, EA's ruining it for everybody. I blame EA for it. So, I mean, this is a little bit separate from what Trump is going to be talking about with some of the industry people.
Well, it kind of falls in line.
But hopefully, I'm hoping that Washington is open to listening to facts as opposed to looking to twist some of these facts for maybe a political agenda.
Yeah.
That remains to be seen. We don't know yet, but the cold hard facts are out there and they're in the open, where we've seen some of these results. And yeah, I mean, video games are. I was talking to a priest, my priest once, many years back, and I was asking him, like, hey, is it bad to play violent video games? Like really, like how bad is it? And he said, you know what? As long as you're mature enough to understand that that's just a fictional fantasy, then you shouldn't have a problem with it. The people who it affects are people who are very impressionable, not fully mature yet, and people with some form of mental problem. And those are the people that could probably be influenced the wrong way.
Yeah,
by
so much
some
in any other aspect
violence.
as well, because
Right.
not just video games, but there's other either
Exactly.
hobbies or activities that can also influence that on someone with, a mindset that they're just not in the right place.
Right.
So
Like when I was a little child and I would watch Ninja Turtles, I would go out in the schoolyard and want to fight with me and my friends.
beat up some foot soldiers, huh?
Yeah, we were young and impressionable.
Yeah,
Not fully mature yet.
that's cool. What kid didn't do that though?
Francisco, you're awfully quiet, bro.
No,
You have the runs?
You have the runs?
I'm listening.
You're a little sweaty, man.
No, I'm good.
I'm falling down again.
I'm just messing with you, man. I'm trying to get you to talk. Give you a little more airtime so you won't call me the show no more.
He is the show.
You can't even pronounce it. You can't even say it right. You know you're the show.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for joining us for another edition of DGT Live. This is episode 114. I hope you have enjoyed it as much as we have enjoyed presenting it to you.
That's
Your
the
friendly
show.
show about gaming, movies, and pop culture. I'm Leo, along with
Rick.
and
Francisco.
until next time, see you later. Ciao. Enjoy your games and love your families.
Burp.
Da-da.
It's Daddy's Game Time.
Remember to visit us at digitalgametime.com. Also on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, Twitter, and Instagram. All at keyword Digital Game Time.